So which day do you consider to be the true start of the week, Sunday or Monday? Each of you said something different. Do you have an explanation? Would either of you like to share why? You can just talk or type it out. I feel like Monday is the true start of the week because it's a new start of school. And, you know, we have 5 days and then you have the weekend. So then Saturday and Sunday are kind of like days off. So for me, Monday kind of starts it because, you know, it's the new week is the way I view it. But you guys, neither of you want to share? Okay, so the standard that we are working on. Yesterday, you were supposed to watch part 1, and Hannah, you did a great job on it. Excellent. Continue to do that, and you'll be successful in 8th grade science. The rest of you did not do part 1 yesterday, at least earlier today when I looked. I'll double check here in a minute, but none of you finished part 1. So you've got to go into Edpuzzle and complete part 1 if you did not do that yesterday, and then watch part 2 of Continents Collide. The do now, I'd like you to go ahead and answer that. Your do nows can be found in Google Classroom under do now. You are clicking on the ones that say 1.6 through 1.8. The standard that we are studying is Earth Science Standard 8.3. which says a combination of constructive and destructive geologic processes formed Earth's surface. So go ahead and answer that do now. Michael, I will send you the code for our Google Classroom. Does everyone else have the Google Classroom? So you are answering that do now. You're going to enter your answers into the chat. So make sure that you are typing that out. You're going to have 3 minutes to do that. So this comes from the video yesterday, or what we have been talking about the last couple of weeks of school, where you learned about plate tectonics and how the plates move. You learned about the layers of the Earth and the convection currents that are moving those tectonic plates. Those convection currents happen in the asthenosphere, which is the upper part of the mantle. And then we learned about the liquid outer core and the solid inner core. And then we talked about radiometric dating and absolute dating. So think about those things. Okay, think about everything that we've learned, that video yesterday that you saw. You have 1 minute and 30 left to think of what happens when continents collide. Those colliding continents are probably the strongest force that we know of. You got 1 minute left. This week, okay, when you are in our Zoom sessions, it's important that you are participating. It's important that you are sharing answers. If we, are asking you to, that's one way that I take attendance, is I'm able to go through and see who was participating and who is doing what they're supposed to. But then the biggest part is getting the classwork done. you've got to be getting in and watching that, in this case, the video. Yesterday, only one of you got the video completely done. The rest of you, as I'm double checking to make sure I'm not misspeaking, but the rest of you did not get many of these done. Yes, one person got it done yesterday. So you guys got to be doing your part. That's not going to help you be successful if you're not doing what you're supposed to. So make sure that you are, paying attention, working hard. If you have questions, you got to log into the Zoom meetings and meet with me. And, I can help clarify things. My email, if you ever need it, is swatson@vikingmail.org. I'll put that into the chat. So those of you that were a little bit late, we talked about when the start of the week was, whether you thought it was Sunday or Monday. And then we got into the do now, and the do now, you're supposed to tell me two things that happen when continents collide. So go ahead and copy your answer and paste it in the chat. I gave you actually an extra minute to do that. So go ahead and put them in there and press enter. Ready and go. If you don't have a full answer, that's fine. Just tell me what you think they form. Hint, they're in the background of that slide that you're looking at. Okay, well, it's going to be challenging if we don't have anyone participating. There we go. Hannah got it right. Okay, mountains and earthquakes. Could also have said volcanoes. All right. Mountains form when those continents are colliding. And behind me, this is an example of a folding mountain. So these layers would all be flat. When Earth has new layers of sediment, all the sediment lays on top, so it's going to be nice flat layers. And when the continents are colliding, they're coming together, those layers are going to be folded up and they're going to look like this. Okay, so you can see that the layers still stay together. They don't break, they don't crack, they are staying together. When a fault happens over here, a fault occurs when there's a slip in the rock and a break, and it'll be a more abrupt change. Well, these mountains don't form overnight. Okay, the plates move on average how fast your fingernails grow. So if you put your two fingernails right next to each other and watch them grow into each other, that's about how much a mountain would form, which would be a very slow process. And think about how high mountains are. My family was down in Tennessee a couple or less than a week ago, and we hiked up to the top of some of the Smoky Mountains, and we're walking along there. Those Smoky Mountains didn't form in a year, 2 years, 3 years. They took hundreds of thousands of years to form. And hopefully you're able to see good examples of that yesterday and understand what exactly was going on. Any questions on what we're studying or what we've been doing? So I want to remind you, Monday, all right, for those of you that are coming in class, you've got to have your computer charged and you bring it to me. I'm in room 851. On the first floor on the right side of the 8th grade hallway, the third door on your right. Those of you that are going to be at home on Monday, we don't meet except for on Thursday afternoon. Okay, Thursday afternoon at 2:40 is when we meet. Okay, so and it'll just be a short, quick check-in, making sure that you're getting everything done for the week. To find your assignments for my class, they're on the mastery grid. And a mastery grid looks like this. So here is a mastery grid. Notice I just talked about folding mountains and faulting mountains. You also need to learn about seafloor spreading and hotspots and subduction. But on Monday, those of you that are at home, you are going to have to complete assignment 1A. Okay, on Tuesday, you'll do 1B. On Wednesday, you'll do 1C. On Thursday, you'll do 1D. On Friday, you'll take a level 1 assessment in GradeCam. So that's how it's set up. And as you complete each assignment, there is a tracker that you change the information on. So right here is this is Watson's grid progress monitoring sheet, constructive forces. You would go to bell 8-9. You would find your name. So this will be for the gray people that are at home. And you would click, and if you finish the vocab, you need to click here and, put working on it, or you're done, or you need it checked, or you're stuck and you need help, or you have questions. And then that's going to guide my instruction the next day. Or I can get a hold of you and contact you right away to be able to help you. Okay, so you could say like, have a question. You only write on yours. You're not changing anyone else's. Okay, and I can see who's changing them. So you guys all have editing ability, but I can go in and look at the history of who's changed things, and I would be able to see that you changed someone else's. So make sure that you don't do that. All right. So today, you are completing part 2 in Edpuzzle of the colliding continents. Any questions on that? Yesterday, only one person when they left here went and got their assignment done. The rest of you did not. So you have zeros on that. Okay, in here we use standards-based grading, which means your grades come from assessments. So if you're not doing this stuff, when you go to take an assessment, you're going to do really poorly. So you have to be getting this work done. This is going to give you a good foundation, a good understanding of constructive forces, which is what we're starting on Monday, and a good review of everything we've talked about so far in earth science. So make sure you get your work done. I'll be here if you have any questions. Stick around. Come back and ask me if you're lost on things. So let me make sure I got everyone. Yep, you're good to go.